Energy. Hit music only.
So, welcome to the Energy Startalk, Jack Garratt. How are you?
Thank you. I am very, very well. Thank you very much. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good.
Is it actually your first time here in Germany?
No, this isn't my first time in Germany. I've been to Germany a few times before. I've done a couple of shows in places like Frankfurt and Berlin, and lots of other places that I can't quite think of right now. But I've definitely been to Germany a few times. I'm actually coming back soon as well. Got another tour on the way.
So is your German then?
Pardon?
How is your German?
My German used to be quite good. I used to do German. I was learning German when I was at school, and I have forgotten all of it. No, I did do some German, but I was given the chance when I was at school to stop learning German and instead do more music. And so I kind of went, oh yes, please, to that. And unfortunately, I've forgotten all of my German now, which is a shame. But I've got the thank yous and the hellos and stuff like that down, and I try and do it with the best accent I can out of respect. So I'm not being rude.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's fine. It'll be all right.
It's fine.
Yeah.
So, how is it actually? I mean, you're a musician, and now you're traveling with your music. You're that successful. How is that feeling?
It feels great. It's unbelievable. It's the dream. Essentially, I get to travel around the world and I get to play music for people, and people have a good time, and that's it. Regardless of the reviews or the records or what people think of me and my music, ultimately at the end of the day I get to share experiences with total strangers every day, and that's ultimately the reason why I'm here, because I like to connect with people. So it feels great. It's unbelievable.
And we actually have now a little questionnaire for you.
Okay.
So because we would like to get to know you better.
Okay.
The first one is your full name, please. Very easy question, because we want to get to know your second first.
Jack Garratt.
You
don't need to know my second name. That's not something you need to know. No one needs to know that.
Okay, date of birth.
You don't need to know that. That's not something you need to know.
Okay, next question is place of birth.
You don't need to know that. That's not something you need to...
I don't know.
Okay, I'm 73 and I was born in Austria.
Wow.
I wasn't born in Austria, and I'm not 73. I was born in just outside of London in a town called High Wycombe.
And are you the typical British guy?
It depends on what you define as the typical British guy.
Very polite people standing in line, waiting,
drinking
tea,
being patient, and hating everyone for it. Yeah, I don't know. Probably not. I am to a point. I'm polite because I was raised well, and I like to make sure that people enjoy my company. So I try and be as friendly as I can. But I don't know. I think a lot of people in the UK get a bad rep, especially from where I'm from, and I kind of get classed as probably not who I really am, because people look at me instead of talking to me, so they think I'm one thing when actually I'm probably quite the opposite of it. I don't know. A lot of people think I'm some posh idiot from England, whereas actually I'm just an idiot from England.
Okay, so next question is your favorite song of all time.
Absolutely impossible to answer. There are too many of them. I have many favorite songs of all time. I have many favorite songs of all time. At a just a quick thinking thing, possibly I don't know, anything by Stevie Wonder, anything by Tom Waits, anything by so many other people who I love and I can't think of right now. There are way too many songs in the world to love and explore rather than just pick one.
But do you remember the first album you've bought, or the first single?
I remember the first single I bought.
Which was it?
It was the Teletubbies' Say Eh-Oh, the B-side of which was Mary Mary Quite Contrary. And yes,
that's a good
I do
one.
Still have it.
That's a good one, because my first record was The Smurfs.
Good. Yeah, that's probably a bit better than the Teletubbies. Probably is. Yeah. I would suggest, at least. Yeah.
So, what are your hobbies? I mean, I guess you don't have time.
Yeah, essentially, I don't have time. It's weird. I think some people would probably suggest that my hobby is my job, because what I do is music, but I would disagree with that wholeheartedly. I love what I do, and so I kind of don't need to... I don't feel the need to try and escape my job by picking up a hobby. I know that's not why everyone has hobbies, but don't have the time to have hobbies. I try and take photographs as often as I can. I'm not a good photographer whatsoever, but I like forcing my eyes to look at things differently, which is kind of essentially what my hobby is just trying to distract myself from something. And I feel like the best way to do that is to just force myself to look at things differently, and to compose images with my eyes rather than to constantly be creating things with my ears. So I do that as often as I can. I have a couple of cameras that tour with me. But other than that, I don't know, the thing I love doing in my downtime is making music.
And coming from the hobbies to the bad habits, do you have any?
Bad habits.
The most frequently that comes is biting nails.
No, I don't bite my nails that much. I cut them a lot. If I don't bite them, I try not to bite them. I would probably say my bad habits is that I talk too much. I talk way too much. I talk a lot, and I talk too much. Just because I like talking. I like having conversations with people, but I unfortunately say too much in those conversations. I'd say that's probably a bad habit I need to stop doing.
And now coming to music, when did you actually start making music? I read that you were brought up in a musical family.
Yeah, I guess I really started making music when I was about 16. I started writing songs when I was about 14 or so, but like in terms of making and building and creating a song, I really started doing that when I was about 16 or 17. But only really started to build myself as a musician, as like an artist, in the last 4 years or so, since I've been living in, when I was living in London. But music has been such a constant and consistent part of my life that I feel as if it has always been around. It's kind of been unavoidable. So there isn't really a particular moment where I remember starting. More, I remember realizing that not everyone was into music in the same way that I was, or had the same feelings about it as I did.
And did you ever have a plan B?
Yeah, my plan B was teaching. I went to university to study teaching, to kind of have a safety net. I was going to be a primary school music teacher, and I spent a year working at a primary school before I went to university, and then went to uni, and essentially I disagreed with the way that I was being taught to teach people, so I left and moved into London, and then kind of 4 years later, here I am.
And your first single here in German is Breathe Life. Maybe you can tell us a bit about that song, what it means to you.
Breathe Life is a really interesting track for me. It came about very quickly. It came about in a time where I was stuck in a couple of ideas and I didn't really know where to go. I often build lots of different ideas and then I kind of drown in them, which is not a very good way to write songs. So I'll have like 8 ideas and I'll work on all of them at different times and they'll all be very different, and then I'll just get lost in all of them. And Breathe Life came along as a brand new idea that I wasn't expecting. It just kind of appeared in front of me, and so I grabbed it and ran with it. And then in completing it, went back to all the other songs that I was kind of lost and stuck on, and just finished all of them as well. So it kind of came and saved me from a really intense moment of self-criticism in a way. I was just sitting there going, I don't know what I'm doing. I have all these ideas, but I don't know how to finish any of them. And Breathe Life came along and went, well, finish me, and then you'll finish all of them. And that's literally what happened.
And there's an album coming soon.
Yes, there is. Yeah.
And is it already finished?
Yes, the album is already finished. The album is kind of fermenting at the moment. And some people are getting the opportunity to have a little sip of it here and there, but it's ready when it's ready, and though I finished the record, it just needs a little time to sit in its own juices and become really, really tasty, and then when February hits, it'll be out and ready for everyone else.
So what, maybe you can give us a little hint, what can we expect musically?
It's a difficult question to answer, because there's lots of different things to expect, so I would encourage you to not expect anything, and hopefully you'll be surprised. I don't know. I hope so, at least.
And you're mostly writing, producing, mixing, and performing your music yourself.
Yeah.
Are you a control freak?
I'm not a control freak. I'm a perfectionist, but I don't actually... I'm a perfectionist who doesn't believe in perfection. I don't think perfection is a thing. I don't think it's achievable, but I do think it's an interesting thing it's an interesting goal to try and reach. And because of that, I trust myself with a lot of things. I also know what I like, and I know what I want, and I know that I can facilitate those wants and those needs for my music. And I'm starting to find other people who can help me with that, and that's really, really great. And I'm really enjoying that process. But I also really enjoy working on my own. I love it, and I've had so much fun doing it up until this point. It would feel weird to suddenly change that just because things are going, or things might be going well.
And I read that you've got a lot of famous fans, like Katy Perry, Ellie Goulding, James Bay. And did you ever meet some of them? How does it feel that your music is received so well?
Positively. I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, those people are all still people. And they all still like music, and obviously they like music so much and they love music so much that they're also a part of music. But they're all just people. Their opinions and their gracious words mean the same to me as it does when someone asks me for a photo, or comes up after a show that I've done and congratulates me on it. It means the same because it comes from the same place. It comes from the heart. Obviously, there's a part of it which is incredible to know that, like, for example, Katy Perry has 66 million followers on Twitter, and she tweeted one of my songs. Like, obviously, that's a great thing, but it means the same when someone else does it as well. If someone shares my music, then I've touch them in a way through the music, or the music has touched them in the way that they feel necessary to share it with their friends. So it feels incredible. And I have met some of them. Like, I've met Katie and I've met James. Like, James I know quite well, but we've been running in the same circles for a long time. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we're all still humans, and we're all still on this planet together, and we're all just trying to do what we want to do and do what we love and help people enjoy music in doing so. But yeah, I have met some of them, but it's all the same. It's all people.
And you also won recently the BBC Sound of 2016.
Yes.
Does this create a kind of pressure for you for the year, or is it like, okay?
No, it's neither. It's neither relaxing, and it's also not that pressuring. There is a huge amount of pressure now, and I can feel it and I can see it, and it hangs over me like a big gloomy shadow. But I'd be silly to change anything about myself because of that. That award, the Sound Poll, is an extremely incredible and overwhelming thing to have received, but it's a compliment. It's someone somewhere has gone, we think you're good, and we think you're going to do well next year. And I've been awarded for that because of what I've done so far. So if I suddenly changed everything about if I relaxed now, I'd be doing the wrong thing, because I've been awarded essentially because I might do well. So if I suddenly stop working hard or sit back and go, oh, well, everything's going well now, I'll ruin my chances of actually doing this as a career. And I love my job. I absolutely love my job. So yeah, there is a lot of pressure, and I can feel it, but I'm not letting it get to me.
And what's actually next on the agenda? Where are you going next, and when are you coming back?
I will be coming back to. I'll be coming back to Germany. I'll be coming back to Europe very soon. Actually, I've just announced a tour that I'm going to be doing in a couple of months, which all the info is up online and tickets are available now. So I'll be doing that soon. But next is that I've just got to go around the world and talk to people about my record, and hope that lots of people are excited by it, and hope that lots of people go and listen to it, because I'm very excited about it and I'm very proud of it. And I've got a lot of shows coming up. This year's going to be very busy. It's going to be a really, really intense one, but I'm looking forward to it. Yeah,
so hopefully seeing you soon.
Yes, absolutely.
And thank you for the interview.
No, thank you for having me. Thank you.
Hit music only. Energy. Hit music only.